So this week we continue in our series of the 4 betters. The 4 betters being loving God better, loving others better, loving ourselves better, and loving the world better. And this week I'm going to talk about what it means to love the world better. And so what the world means in this situation is it's everything outside of us. That means it's the person we meet at the grocery store that we don't know, or it could be the homeless person on the street, or it could be even somebody on the total opposite side of the globe. That is the world. We're not just talking about people in other countries. We're talking about people here in Carlsbad, in North County. Like, that is the world. Basically everything outside of our sphere of influence. And out of the 4 betters, I think this is easily one of the hardest ones to do. Because generally with the other ones, we know the people, we generally like them, we have some sort of connection with them. And in this situation, a lot of the times these people who are considered the world are people we don't even know. They're people that are different from us. They may look different, they may sound different, they may have different upbringings and have different lifestyles than us. And sometimes when we think about people that are different than us, we're kind of averse to that. We don't want to have anything to do with it. You're like, yeah, that's okay, that's you, I'm gonna do me, I'll be over here doing my own thing. But that's why this is so important, because it's the hardest thing to do. Because it's hard to love and understand somebody that's different from us. And so, like I said, these aren't necessarily people that are our friends or family. They aren't somebody that we know or are close to. But when I was younger, I had a friend who had autism. And this friend struggled with making other friends. He struggled with connecting with people and struggled with people really understanding him for who he was. And unfortunately, at a young age, people were not always the kindest to him. They'd always say and do things to kind of get a rise out of him, get him riled up and mess with him. And generally, he would react in a negative way. And so it was tough for people to really understand who this person was. And so I had 2 options when I got to know this person. I could either kind of follow the crowd, do the same thing, kind of be like, it's not my problem. You know, you're different. I'm not going to have anything to do with you. I'm going to do me, right? Or I could take the other route of getting to know this person, being a friend to them, being kind to them. And I chose the latter in this situation. And the cool part is, even to this day, 10 years later, I still am in contact with this person. He'll hit me up every now and again and we'll chat and catch up on life and see how the other's doing. But the thing is, like, did I change this guy's life? Maybe, maybe not. But was I a friend to this person? Absolutely. And that's what God's calling us to do when it comes to dealing with folks that are different than us. It's being a friend to them. It's showing them kindness and care and empathy and love. Even if they're difficult to love sometimes. Even if we don't really even know them. Or maybe not even care about them all that much or have a close relationship with them. We're still called to love and value these people. And so, like I said, this guy had a great heart, but he was just different. But we're called to love people that are different than us. And so, with that being said, I understand how tough it can be to love people that we don't understand and that are different. It's hard to really get who they are because they may not relate to us on everything. It's not like loving our friends. Like when we talked about loving others, that was a little easier to understand because we all have people that we know and care about and have connections with. But these are people we may not be the most connected with. These people may not be the people that are our best friends. And that's what the point of the story that I just shared with you was, not saying that you have to be best friends with these people that are considered the world. You can, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is God is calling us to be just a simple friend to them. To be somebody that sees them and sees the value that God has in them, and love them and see them the way that God sees them. Not just blowing them off and pushing them off to the side or acting the way everybody else is acting. God's calling us to something higher than that and saying, hey, I may not understand this person all that well and may not have the best connection with them, but I see you for who you are and I see who God sees you, and I'm going to choose to be a friend for you. I'm going to choose to treat you the same way I would treat my best friend or my family member, or whoever I'm closest to. I'm still going to treat you with the same love, respect, and dignity as I treat them. And this goes along with what I was teaching about a couple weeks ago. We talked about when it comes to loving others, we must also experience and understand empathy. And I think empathy plays an incredible role when it comes to loving people that are a part of the world at hand, right? And so this is what it has to say in 1 John. We love because he first loved us. If anyone says, I love God, and hates his brother, he is a liar. For he does not love his brother whom he has seen and cannot love, but love God whom he has not seen. And this commandment we have for him: whoever loves God must also love his brother. So how can we see those around us, see these people in the world, and not love them? But at the same time, we haven't seen God, but still love him. So whoever loves God, if we love God, right, what we talked about, we got to also love our brothers. We also got to love our sisters. We got to love the world, these people that are different than us. We're called to love people that are unseen and that we don't know and who are different than us. See, Jesus set that perfect example for us when he loved people like tax collectors, prostitutes, criminals, zealots, and other people that were completely different from his cause and who he was as a person. But he still chose to love these people. He still chose to sit down, have a meal, and understand and talk with these people. And we're called to do the same thing. And we all know how to be a friend. And that's what this is so important. Like I was being a friend to that person I was talking about earlier, Jesus was a friend to these people. That's the most simple way to find that connection with people, is just treat them like a friend. Treat them like you would treat any of your other friends. Maybe if you're going to tease your friend and make fun of them, don't bring that into this situation. But still, the way you treat your friends with love and care and dignity, you're supposed to treat all those people that are different from you, the people that are out in the world, in the same exact way. And so a couple of years ago, I read this really awesome book called Friendship at the Margins. And the whole book talks about loving people that are in the margins of society and how we come into contact with them. And this basically dealt with more people that were less fortunate than us and had to do with when you're doing missions work and what that should look like. And so the book really changed my view about how we look at people, the others, or the people that are of this world, or the world, like I was talking about, the people that are considered to be the world, people outside of our sphere of influence. And it changed my perspective of an us versus them, or a me versus them, of me, I am coming down to help you and show God's love to you. But it changed my perspective from that into the idea of, like I said earlier, the friendship. Of hey, I'm not going to come down to you. I'm going to come alongside you as a friend. I'm going to treat you like I would treat my friends and my family. And this is a great quote from the book. I'm going to read it to you right here. This is what it says. We can mistakenly conclude that we have to go far away to share in the gifts of friendship with persons who are vulnerable. But every community has people who are invisible or overlooked, and each of us can move towards wholeness through the friendship we offer and receive. So when it comes to loving people that are different and people that we may not know, we don't have to go far away to another country to experience the world. We can. Missions work is awesome. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is missions work is here too. The world is here too in North County, in Carlsbad, in Vista, in Oceanside, San Marcos, Escondido, Encinitas, Solana Beach, wherever you're living, the world is here. Because San Diego is a huge county, and I know for a fact that you do not know every single person in San Diego County. If you do, that's pretty rad and that's insane. But with that being said, there's a lot of people in our general area to love and a lot of new friends to be made. So my challenge to you this week is to look around, recognize that there are people that you don't know, and take a second to think about that, and take a second to see them the way that God sees them. The people that are different from you, the people you may not understand or really connect with, see them how God sees them. He sees them as a child. He sees them as somebody that needs to be loved and valued. So go ahead this week and view people as friends rather than just somebody that's different and weird and crazy or whatever. However you view people you don't know. My challenge to you is to go and be a friend this week. Thanks for watching.